Egg quality is one of the first things that gets blamed with fertility. And very quickly, the conversation turns to numbers: AMH, FSH, antral follicle count. And I can almost hear the worry, but my AMH is low and my FSH is high. Doesn't that mean that my eggs are the problem? Now, don't get me wrong, those numbers matter. But what's important to understand is that they don't measure egg quality directly. They tell us something about the ovarian reserve, for sure, and they tell us something about the ovarian stimulation response. So AMH reflects the quantity of developing follicles, not necessarily their chromosomal integrity or their mitochondrial function. And FSH reflects how strongly the brain has to signal the ovary, not whether a specific egg can fertilize or develop. But somewhere along the way, these numbers, right, the AMH, the FSH, they started being treated as if they were measuring egg quality itself. And that's the myth. Egg quality is not a verdict. It's actually a reflection of cellular function. And cellular function is influenced by physiology. Now, we also need to be honest because in this conversation, age matters. Under age 40, egg quality is generally more responsive to changes in inflammation and mitochondrial function, blood flow, and metabolic stability. After age 40, the biology does shift. The margin narrows. It doesn't mean that nothing can change, but it does mean we need to work more strategically, and we can't pretend that time is irrelevant. So this isn't about denying biology. It's about understanding what is still malleable. Because what you need to understand is that the egg that ovulates this month actually began developing 3 months ago, which means that the egg quality is actually a reflection of the environment that it developed in. And the exciting information and fact that you need to understand is that environments can change. Hi, I'm Batya. I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner, a midwife, and a fertility specialist. I work with women who are trying to conceive and they feel stuck or unsure about what actually matters, whether everything looks normal or if there's a diagnosis but the path forward still isn't clear. And today I want to widen your understanding about egg quality. What you need to understand is that an egg doesn't develop in isolation. It develops within a system, within your body. And that system includes not just your ovaries, but your metabolism, your inflammatory tone, your hormonal signaling, and your circulation, the overall stability of your internal environment. When that environment shifts, egg quality can shift alongside it and can actually improve. So when we talk about egg quality, what we're really asking is, how well is the body supporting cellular development? How efficiently are the mitochondria generating energy? What is the oxidative stress burden? How coordinated is the signaling between the brain and the ovary? And how well is the ovary being nourished? I mentioned my client Tamar in the last episode. On paper, nothing looked clearly wrong, but when we widened the lens, we were able to identify what her body had really been buffering and coping with over time. And remember, once that shifted, her fertility shifted. Her egg quality wasn't the problem, but what was influencing it was. And this distinction matters, because this is where many women get stuck. The question becomes, how do I improve egg quality? Which supplement should I take? Which protocol should I do? More effort. But egg quality is really not something that you can force, because it simply reflects the environment that is supporting it. So let's reframe this in a way that can be actually useful for you in your life. Okay, I want to give you 3 different lenses how to approach egg quality so that you can start applying it in your life today. So the first thing you need to understand about egg quality is that it's not fixed, but rather responsive, right? Egg quality responds to the environment that it develops in. And as I said before, the egg that ovulates this month began maturing around 3 months ago, which means that it developed in a specific physiological window, and it is responding to the unique conditions that exist in your body. And responsiveness implies influence. Not instant change, not magic, but influence. And I think that that is super empowering. Number 2, egg quality is environmental, not supplemental. Egg quality reflects the environment that the follicle matured in. So it's true, supplements can support, and I do give supplements to help improve egg quality, but they can't override it. They can't override your environment. We still need to look at, is there chronic inflammation? Is there sleep deprivation? Is there metabolic instability? Is there ongoing toxic burden? Remember, egg quality reflects the ecosystem. Change the ecosystem, and then you can change the egg because that's what develops within it. And finally, I want you to think about eggs as being dependent on cellular function, and therefore dependent on the delivery of nutrients to the cell. Because at its core, egg quality really is cellular. It reflects mitochondrial energy production. It reflects oxidative stress balance. It reflects inflammatory tone. It reflects hormonal coordination. But here's the part that often gets missed. Cells do not function in isolation. They depend on delivery. They depend on oxygen reaching the tissue. They depend on nutrients arriving. And they depend on hormonal signals that are being transported to the ovary, which means that at its core, cellular function, and therefore ovarian function and egg function, well, they all depend on circulation. And that's where we're going next, because once you understand how circulation, aka blood flow, shapes fertility, then egg quality stops feeling like a mysterious concept and starts becoming something that's physiologically clear. In our next episode, we're going to take a closer look at circulation, what blood flow actually means in the context of fertility, how it can influence both egg development and implantation, and what can quietly interfere with blood flow, and most importantly, what you can do to support it. Because fertility isn't only about what the ovary can produce, it's also, and most importantly, about what the ovary can receive. So if this conversation shifted how you're thinking about egg quality, don't let it stop here. I created a short guide called The 5 Fertility Secrets Your Body Wants You to Know. It walks you through the foundational systems that influence egg quality and fertility readiness, and the evidence-based practices that help stabilize those systems. It's linked below. It's the best place to start widening your lens. And I'll leave you with this. Your body isn't working against you. Egg quality is not necessarily a fixed limitation. Remember, it reflects what your body has been working with, and what the body responds to can change.